Hey there. I am watching chat but not paying the closest attention because I'm very focused on getting my first layer set down. Once more people trickle into chat, I'm hoping that y'all will very much talk to each other because I want this to be a nice, calm hangout place. Okay, well, thanks for stopping by. I don't, but I'm planning to go live more often. If you subscribe, I know that you can set to get notifications when I do, but I don't currently have a set schedule. Let's see. I love that won't sit up. I need a rack or something to hold this up. Currently, I'm just doing the very first round of paper mache over a paper base that I've made. It's going to be upright. It's going to be a puppy head once it's complete. Currently, you can see it's got no ears. But I'm doing paper mache to make the base stronger at the moment. Good. Hi, I've been meaning to write back to you because I did see that you sent a message. It's going to be like a puppy head. So kind of like this fox here. I didn't make the fox, but I am going to make a dog. Yeah, I'll definitely post updates when it's done. Today it's just going to be the first layer of the newspaper over the base that I've built. So you can see sort of the general shape already. I'm putting a base layer of newspaper down to make it stronger, and then from there I'll build it out to give it more shape, and eventually I'm going to put either fur or some sort of cloth over the top. Hi Isabella, how are you today? Good to hear. I am watching chat, but I'm hoping as more people trickle in, that chat will largely be able to talk to and interact with itself, because I'm trying to just, make this a nice chill place for people to hang out, maybe listen or watch along while you're working on your own crafts or hobbies. I know sometimes people just like to have the company of a live stream going on in the background. This is not my first attempt at paper mache. I've made quite a few paper mache items before, but this is my first attempt specifically at doing a fursuit head. And since I got this right-wing political newspaper in the mail, I thought, hey, what better to do with it than make it into something fun? This is one of those processes that makes me wish that I had more hands. But I think everyone who makes anything feels like that sometimes. I'm starting to get to the sections of the head that have a bit more shape to them, that aren't just round. So I'm having to make sure not to smash the paper base that I already have against the balloon so that it doesn't just turn round. I want to keep the shape of the eye sockets and the cheekbones. Right now I'm going to go around the eye sockets itself, which is going to require a lot of really little pieces to make sure I don't completely cover the eyes. Let's see, this is already pretty wet. Let me. I think so far the most interesting paper mache project I've made was actually a paper mache hat, more accurately, a little paper mache like top hat, back from when those were more of a thing. So like 2010, 2012. I had already bought a couple as like accessory pieces, and I thought they were really neat. So I decided to buy a plastic version that I could use as a base for other paper mache hats, so that I could, make however many as I wanted and have them all be different. And so that was something I had a lot of fun with back when I was 11, 12, 13. Thank you. I hope you're doing well and have a good, time until I talk to you next. Yeah, no problem. Are you working on any crafts, tasks, hobbies, or just chilling today? Let's see. That fit properly. I was also just chatting with an old friend who stopped by, so I was entertained during that. Talking a little bit about my past paper mache projects. I don't know if you caught that. This is my first attempt at doing a fursuit head or anything directly furry related. I've done accessories and things in the past. Currently, I'm just using small pieces directly around the eye sockets to get those reinforced. It's a little smaller than I wanted. I love when I get tiny pieces of paper stuck to my gloves that I can't get off. Joking, of course. There we go. This one is actually kind of funny. It's not directly my OC, but it's very, very similar. You see, I happened to come across someone who was selling secondhand a fursuit that they had that looked almost just like my OC. So I went ahead and bought it. I am planning to modify it or have it modified to look more like my own OC, because there are some minor differences. Mine, for example, has actually different colored eyes than this one does, and slightly different hair. But all of that said, this kimono suit, very, very similar to my OC. Remarkably so for it actually being a suit originally of someone else's. I'm not super good with working with fur, or else I would have already changed up the hair. This is a partial suit. I don't have the hand paws or feet paws out right now, but those are also slightly different than my actual OC. This one has orange and then, no, yeah, orange and then black, whereas mine would be black and then orange. So close enough that it works, but it's not a perfect representation. Um, I have seen a lot of interesting theories as to why people are so intense about furries. I don't have an exact explanation for why everyone is. I guess the most general thing is that people are uncomfortable with seeing people be very happy doing something that is kind of unusual. Um, so people see someone who really enjoys, dressing up in a way that's unusual or whatever, and there's this very strong cringe response or disgust response. Another aspect that probably plays into it is that a lot of furries are in some way socially marginalized. A lot of furries are queer or autistic or just don't really fit into social standards in some way or another. Um, which people outside of those communities react very strongly and negatively to people who are in any way socially unusual and don't act ashamed about it. So, yeah, I guess that's how I would summarize it. People are so hateful to furries because furries make them cringe, make them feel secondhand embarrassment, whereas furries themselves are not embarrassed by doing the things that they enjoy or getting enjoyment in their hobbies. Unrelated to that, completely unrelated to that, I actually got to see a wild fox relatively recently. There's one living in my neighborhood. I'm always excited when I see wildlife of all kinds, but especially foxes out and about. They're so fun. Everything is starting to stick together, which is ultimately the point of doing paper mache, letting all the paper stick together. But it can be inconvenient when I'm still trying to move stuff around. Let's see, how's this going? Sometimes I get turned around and look at it from the front to make sure I'm building it out evenly. I'm currently trying not to make the paper too wet enough to stick and to form a nice layer, but not too wet so that it doesn't squish the form that I'm using underneath, which is a tricky balance, actually. Well, especially when I get to the more complicated, curved sections. Just gotta hold that still, let it kind of dry in place a little bit. There. There. My phone just buzzed and I can't check it because I have sticky stuff on my hands. Well, I'll finish the paper that I've pre-torn and then I can take my gloves off briefly. Have a good rest of your day. I hope you do something that brings you joy. Oh no, more phone buzzing. Hey there, nice to hear that. Right now, I am finishing up the paper that I already have torn. Then I'm going to take my gloves off for a little bit, let this sit, dry a little bit, so I can check my phone, honestly, because it keeps buzzing. I'll turn this around so you can see this from the front while I do that. it wants to fall over because the weight isn't currently evenly balanced. But anyway, tell me a little bit about yourself if you want. Are you working on any interesting projects currently? I am stuck in my gloves. Most people don't actually wear gloves to do paper mache, but I don't like how the goo, the cold paste feels. All right, let me see what's going on. Okay, it looks like I've got until about an hour and 10 minutes left that I can stay and stream. So you should see some decent progress on this guy. I'm concerned that I'm making the layers too wet at the current moment. This is the first time I've worked with a primarily paper base. As you can see, this is just brown, like package paper that I've shaped into the shape of the head that I'm making. So I'm really afraid I'll make it too wet and smash the paper layer underneath, which is part of why I'm giving it a couple of minutes to dry out a little bit before I continue working on it. Also, I need to replace some of the tape on the lower jaw that's come undone. But so far, I'm pleased with it. I'm unsure how many layers of paper I'm going to use overall. Just enough to make it seem sturdy enough to eventually put a layer of probably not actually fur. I'm thinking about using terry cloth, so like towel fabric over the top, because I think that would be an interesting texture. There. Also, coffee break. I see that we've got a couple of new people trickling in, so I'll introduce my project I'm currently working on. I am making a paper mache fursuit head. This is my first fursuit head ever, actually, but I wasn't super comfortable with the idea of working with foam. Whereas I have done a lot of paper mache in the past, so I figured why not try it. I got a pattern for making a puppy head out of foam, and instead of using foam, I modified it a little bit to use package paper, which is what the very bottom layer of this is. Made it out of package paper and a lot of tape, and now to make that sturdier, I'm going over it with a couple of layers of paper mache. And as to the title of this stream, I decided, hey, you know what? You know what would be funny? To use that right-wing newspaper I just got shoved into my mailbox to make my furry project. How's my sound levels, by the way? From looking at the little dial, it looks like it might be a little bit low. Let's see if I can make my mic a little bit more sensitive. I can't from these settings while streaming, unfortunately. This head that I'm working on is going to be for my OC macchiato puppy, which is, as the name implies, a coffee-themed puppy persona. I don't have their backstory totally fleshed out yet, but currently I see them as non-binary, they, them. I don't think they work in a coffee shop. I think they just spend a lot of time in coffee shops. Maybe a writer. This is one of those OCs where the visual design very much came to me first before any character traits or anything. I actually used them as one of my characters for Art Fight, and I got a ton of beautiful art made of them that I'm very happy about. Let's see. I guess I'm going to continue on the snout. Oh, I need to tear more paper. All right. Paper strip, paper strip. There we go. More paper to work with. Actually, I can just leave that sitting there. It's a decent setup for the part that I want to work on next. If you're watching this and you're currently working on your own crafts or hobbies of any type, I would love to hear about it. Tell me about it in chat. If you're not currently working on anything, do you have your own fursona? Tell me about that. Or multiple. I've got 2 of my own now. The one that I'm currently making a head for, and this one that I've got sitting next to me, which that head actually has kind of a funny story behind it if you all are interested. Hello. If you're someone that I know in person, I don't recognize your username, Forgettable. Which I guess speaks to the aptitude of your username. No, it just speaks to the fact that I would have to click through and look at your profile to see who you are. But you wouldn't be the first one of my IRL friends to stop in today. Which I like. That's nice. Just saying hi. Even if what I'm doing is not the most interesting to watch. I am interested in chatting with chat if anyone has anything interesting going on or anything they just want to talk about in their life. I'm doing this primarily to take a break from my studies and relax a little bit. Oh, hey Allegra, I have not heard from you in quite a while. That is too big of a piece for where I want to put it. And yeah, I know that I currently have the slow chat mode on, so everyone has to wait 30 seconds in between messages. That's because I easily get overwhelmed if I'm trying to do something else and read chat at the same time. So slow mode helps that. I'm going to have to plug in my laptop soon. That's a little stressful because I'll have to take my gloves off to do it. Unless I can get my girlfriend's attention to come do it for me, which I think she might be gaming, so I would feel bad interrupting her. But the notification is hanging out in front of chat. Okay, there, it finally went away. Yes. Well, masculine non-binary, but boy adjacent, shall we say. The numbers are ticking up, the viewer numbers are ticking up right about the time that I'm concerned I'll have to take a break in order to go plug in my laptop. It's always how it works, isn't it? It's really nice to hear from you. I was actually thinking about you the other day, wondering how you were doing. I think I still have you on Tumblr, but I'm not sure what other methods of contact I even have with you at the moment. Okay, I need to plug my laptop in. Trying not to fling dried paste chunks everywhere while I take my gloves off. Oh. Okay, good. I'm gonna be off screen for like a second. Okay. Plugged in. Very good. I'm also actually going to take this opportunity to set an alarm because I do need to go in about an hour or a little less than an hour, and I don't want to lose track of time. There we go. Timer set. Ooh, actually, I know it would be fun, and or maybe annoying for viewers, but fun for me. I have a little chicken timer that I'll set. Also, that way, if I'm being silent, you can hear something. Where can you see the chicken where it won't be in my way? Behind me. Perfect. Before I get my gloves on, yes, it's a timer, actually, like a kitchen timer for cooking, but I use it for when I'm having a hard time starting tasks. I'll set it for 15, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour if I'm feeling ambitious, and be like, okay, I only have to do the task until the chicken rings. And usually by the time I've done that much of a task, I am motivated enough to continue. Hello, Lily. How are you doing? How are you doing? Are you working on anything interesting of your own today? I always love it when people are working on crafts while we hang out. Trying to get my gloves back on the right hands so I don't get them mixed up. Not that it matters that much. I mean, I'm going to wash them and my hands once I'm done with this. I got a message. 1 second to deal with that. And then I'll glance back up at chat. I've been asked for a link to my stream, so I'm going to go ahead and pass that along, and then I'll get back to doing my work, my craft work. All right, back to gluing paper. I'm starting to get to the more like shaped part of the snout, which I'm not worried about it. That wouldn't be the right word, but I am being cautious to not lose the shape of the paper base that I'm putting this on. Hello. I can't read your name from this far away because it's got a lot of symbols in it. But as I'm asking everyone else here, how are you doing today? And are you working on anything interesting? Have anything going on in your life that you're just looking for an outlet to talk about? Because half the fun of streaming is talking with chat. Zen. Hello, Zen. That's a fun name. I'm getting paper stuck to my gloves and not to the project I'm working on. No. When you place a piece and then you're immediately like, actually, that's not the best piece for that location at this current moment. Hello, Golden Heart. I appreciate it. I am thinking about going live with crafting streams more often. So if this is the kind of thing that you're interested in, just chilling, maybe doing an online version of body doubling, so working on something while I work on stuff, then like, subscribe, and you'll see me around next time I'm on then. Yes, the time difference. Yes, my day is not coming to an end, but it is towards the evening here. So I didn't forget what time it was in the US, but I wasn't actively thinking about it. Ooh, cat mask making lives. I am going to have to check that out. I would definitely have fun with that. I've done some craft lives before. Arts or crafts. I think the last one I did was a painting stream. So that was somewhere in between art and craft because it was painting with a like spin tray that I had been gifted. So I mean, yes, it was art, but it was art relying on chance and like hand work more than design. Do I enjoy my life? Overall, yes. I would like to stop being sick. I do have a cold that I'm recovering from, which is not ideal, but it's the season for that kind of thing. Yeah, I have two sets of ears. I bought both of them at anime conventions. I call this my like show ear set of ears because they are, definitely in the like more cartoon style. And I've got a matching tail in the same sort of bright orange. But I also have a more realistic set of fox ears. Um, I love them. They're adorable and fun to wear, and I don't even really notice that I'm wearing them because they don't like squeeze my head too hard or anything. I am really happy to see, especially like on TikTok recently, and to a certain extent on Twitter, that wearing ears and tails has become more of a thing recently. I think it's just such a fun way to express yourself and add a little bit of flair and whimsy to our outfits. That's really fun. Yeah, I mean, it makes me think of how like back when I was in like middle school, so like the 2010s, middle and high school, but more so middle school. emo kids would wear the little tails as like keychains hooked to their belts. And I always thought that was really neat, though I never had one myself. So I guess I'm kind of fulfilling that desire now. Sorry for the pauses in my comments. I'm very focused on trying to shape the nose of my snout without the nose of my snout, the snout of my snout without smashing it. It's feeling a little bit lopsided, but I'm thinking I'll be able to fix that once it dries a little bit and I get more layers on. Okay, let's see. I've got quite a few comments that I've now missed. I'm sure you haven't stuck around because you were trolling, but first off, Terry Sanford, wrong form of your, which indicates to me that you're either about 10 or have the writing capabilities of 10-year-old, which in itself isn't necessarily a bad thing, but just simply something to note. But also, my father follows me on YouTube and knows that I make arts and crafts and all of that stuff. So he would probably ask me what I'm working on, but he wouldn't be weird and judgy about it. Fox with wings. Okay, the 9 is a G. I see. Fox with wings. My pronouns are primarily they, them, or he, him. I, especially in online spaces, prefer they, them, but operate with he, him more often in real life because I'm living in a country that doesn't really use neutral pronouns so much in their language. So I use the equivalent of he, him. But I do also have interest in some neopronouns that I also use occasionally in like some online spaces and like specific discords and things that are open to neopronouns. Those would be Z-Zim, so X-E-X-E-M, or hen, hens, hen self, which although it sounds like a noun self pronoun, isn't intended as a noun self pronoun, but rather as a sort of adaptation of the Swedish hen neutral pronoun. I studied Germanic languages, so I just am like very intrigued by the use of hen as a pronoun in a couple of different Germanic languages, Swedish included, and think it would be interesting to adopt it into English because English is also related to the Germanic languages. And for identity, in case you're all curious, since you also volunteered that in your message, I am also pan, and I'm transmasculine non-binary, to put it in sort of the easiest, shortest answer, although I could definitely get into micro labels if anyone were interested. Hello, the poisonous links. I love your name. I have a, shall we say, close friend who also is a lynx. Fox with wings. That's nice. That's cool. I do like that if you use all pronouns, then one, it confuses people who don't understand that, and two, you can't, like, people aren't going to be successful in purposefully using the wrong pronouns for you. Need to adjust this because I have, in fact, smashed one side of my mask a little bit. I'm going to support it while it dries, and I can push it back into shape. I will use this opportunity to talk once again about my OCs, about my 2 personas, and answer any other questions that come up while I'm waiting for this to sort of dry a little bit. Fox with wings. No worry. I don't actually like mind grammar mistakes or misspellings or anything. I just think it's really funny when people intend to troll or be hurtful and also have misspellings. It's an easy thing to pick on. But I know that in itself is problematic and has various issues to it. I spend a lot of my time operating in my second language, so I definitely sympathize with having grammar and spelling issues. But yes, Golden Heart in chat is currently speaking about herself in third person, but she's also ADHD. If I do this more often and she's interested, I might have her mod the chat at some point, but not today because I only have, I don't know, 45 minutes or something left that I can be on right now. This is not, ooh, that works well. Supporting it on something, but now that covers up my glue. Struggling. Yeah. I'm not ADHD, but a lot of people I know in low are. And I am, what's the best way to phrase this? Let's say quasi-diagnosed as autistic, by which I mean I had a therapist tell me that if they did all of the tests and went through the diagnostic criteria, I would definitely get a diagnosis, but because that can cause some issues for immigration and whatnot, I chose not to do that. Here, I'm going to turn this around so you can see the front. I'm super happy with one side. This side, I'm very happy with how it's turning out. This side, I've accidentally squished in a little bit, and I'm going to have to figure out how to fix that, which I don't think it'll be difficult. I just don't know how well I can do that while it's still very wet. Thank you. Also, I know that since this is just the first layer, I'll be able to adjust the exact shape of it with further layers. Let's prop it up. This is going to be a fursuit head for a puppy persona that I've got that I call Macchiato Puppy, which, as the name suggests, is coffee themed. It's one of the designs where like the visual design came to me before I really spent any time thinking about backstory or anything. But I was just intrigued by the like color palette, color combination of macchiato, the varying shades of brown and white. And I wanted to base something off of that. And I've seen just a ton of really cute puppy fursuits recently. And I was really excited to try my hand at making one. Let's see, Fox with Wings, reading your comment right now. Ooh. So Fox with Wings has made a fursuit head of a fursona called Barry the Gray-Spotted Highland Cow. That is really cool. You don't see very many cow fursuits, but there is so much potential for cows, especially because there's so many different types of cows. And I have seen some really adorable personas based on cows. And they're going to post it. So if anyone's interested in going and seeing that, you can check out their channel, I'm sure. Cast Star, I am making, it's very kind of hard to tell the shape at the current moment. I'm making a paper mache fursuit head of a puppy fursona I have called Macchiato Puppy, which is as it implies, macchiato themed or coffee themed persona. I'm doing this with paper mache, which I know is not a common fursuit material because it's my first ever fursuit project, and I wasn't super comfortable jumping right in and working with foam. Whereas I've done a lot of paper mache crafts in the past. So I wanted to go ahead and try that out first. I'm also interested in trying to make a fursuit that's entirely made of like natural materials and whatnot. That's totally okay, Fox with Wings. Have a great rest of your day, and yeah, like and you subscribe, and you should get notified for the next time I'm live. It's been fun hanging out with you. Where was I? Yes, I do know that paper fursuits, especially paper mache, given the material, like that they're often made using flour and water, can mold. I'm not thinking this will be one that I'll wear super often, so I'm not too worried about it. And I am also going to look into sealing techniques and whatnot. But even with my foam fursuit, my kimono suit, I am very wary of mold and try to make sure I keep them in places where they can dry thoroughly, and I check them regularly and whatnot because, you don't want to mess with mold. I used to live in a place that actually had quite a bit of mold, and I know that it can have quite a few negative consequences. Zen's sister is a Highland cow furry. That's really neat. We were just talking about cow furries for the people who just clicked in, and I think they're really cool. I would like to see more of them. Oof. Yeah. Eating just a little bit of mold, obviously not good, but generally doesn't do you a ton of harm, but not something you want to do in large quantities or very often. Golden Heart, you haven't heard of what? The fact that I used to live in a place that had mold, or Highland cows, or paper mache? There's a lot of things we've discussed that you might not have heard about. The edge of the top jaw is not sitting the way I want it to. And I'm not sure if this is something that I can currently fix with more wet paper mache, or if I'm going to have to wait till it dries a little bit and use other means to adjust it. Oh, yeah, eating an entire roll full of mold is different. Yeah, that's more serious. I'm thinking what I'm going to have to do for the bottom of the top jaw and the entire bottom jaw is wait till the top half that I've been doing dries and then flip the whole thing over, which it also wants to do anyway because all the weight is making it roll around. That's not to say that I'm going to stop working on this for this current second. It's just that's the plan for that part of the mask. Can I? I need something to prop this up on. Golden Heart, if you are free and you would be willing to be a sweetheart, could you bring me another pot or bowl to prop this up on? So that it stops rolling around and I can worry less about squishing the sides. I have seen really cool. Can you bring me a pot if either of them are clean, or a bowl so that I can set this on top and it'll stop rolling around? What was I saying? Yeah, I've seen really neat fursuits made out of cardstock and other types of thick paper. There's a bunch of them, a bunch of people who have them who post to TikTok, actually. So I'm sure you've seen that if you're already interested in making one. A bowl! Thank you.
You're welcome.
Aha! Now I can work on all of it without smashing it. Amazing. I had a friend in college who she wouldn't have called them fursuit heads, but she did do paper animal masks out of, I think it was cardstock, that were absolutely beautiful. She gave me, I believe, an owl mask in our first year. So ever since then, I've really appreciated sort of paper craft masks. Oh yeah. Zen, you can totally shout me out. My channel is pretty eclectic at the moment. I do vlogs, video essays, and this kind of thing, but I would definitely appreciate it if you shout me out. I am hoping to eventually reach 500 subs, which is a small goal, but will make me very happy. I feel like I just interrupted my own story, but I don't know what the rest of my story was, so never mind, that happens. I'm also vaguely considering getting into political or semi-political streaming, just because I think it's important. And I think it could be an interesting thing to combine with other topics, such as a craft and politics discussion stream. But I have not settled on doing that because I am also a student and I don't have a ton of time to do research and stream prep. And when I am on, I mean, like what I'm doing today, I like to use it as more of a time for relaxation. Once I get off stream, I'm going to have to check out a bunch of channels because so many interesting people have showed up in chat today. I want to look at all the cool stuff that you're creating. Honestly, I think if I had all the free time in the world, the main thing I would do would be make video essays because I love the format, but they take so much time. And also I need a better mic. Using my built-in webcam mic is chill for streaming in this sort of casual way. But the audio on my last video essay was not good because it turns out the mic that's been sitting in the bottom of my camera bag for years is not the best choice if you're trying to record something in higher quality. People out there who paper mache, you know the feeling of when you keep trying to paper mache over a particular spot and then somehow keep missing the thin spot? So I just put down like 3 different pieces and continually managed to miss the spot I was actually trying to cover. Hello, Ray. I doubt if you're the Ray I know in person, but if you are, that would be amusing to me. Because I've had quite a few in-person friends and associates pop in today. It's been a little bit since I went over the premise of the stream, so I'm going to do that again. Sorry for y'all here who have heard this several times already. I see the dinner comment. I will respond after I do my spiel about what I'm currently doing. I've been wanting to make a paper mache puppy mask for a while, and when I got a right-wing newspaper in my mailbox, I knew what the perfect material to use for that mask would be, because it amuses me greatly to turn right-wing slop into art that I can be proud of. There, that was the super short version of my explanation of what I'm doing. Hello. Is that bowel exclamation mark or is that bowel with an L? I think it's an exclamation mark. I'm sitting a little bit far away from my computer. Golden Heart, you have soup left on the stove if you would like to heat it up. If you don't want soup, I would be up for pasta or noodles. Hello, Bow. Hello, Captain 10C29910. That is an interesting username. Is it a reference to something or based on something? If it's based off a game, Golden Heart in chat is far more likely to recognize it than I am. It's Star Wars. Okay, we got another one of those things that I'm not going to recognize, but Golden Heart probably would. Thank you for the ears compliment. I bought these at an anime convention. I wish I knew the name of the maker off the top of my head, but I don't. I've gotten a lot of compliments on them on this stream, so I might end up making a video about the ears that I have and who I bought them from once I find who the maker was. This, besides me, is a kimono fursuit head. So kimono is the name of this sort of style. I didn't make this fursuit head, but first I will talk about the fursuit head and then I'll talk about the ears. I didn't make the kimono fursuit head myself. I bought it secondhand from someone who has a fursona that looks very similar to mine. So even though it was made after a different fursona, it is quite similar to my main fursona, Ren. So I bought it and I'm planning to, yes, I bought it second paw. I'm planning to, if I get good enough at working with fur and stuff, modify it a little bit so it looks more like my character. I didn't make the ears myself. I bought them from a stand at an anime convention. And once I find who the maker was, I will post either a community post if I'm feeling lazy or a video about this set of ears and the other set of ears I have because I've gotten lots of questions about them during this stream. Thank you. I would be interested in learning to make my own ears, but it's not a craft that I've jumped in to yet. The closest thing I've made in the past is I did do one yarn tail when I was in high school. It's got to be about 10 years ago now. I did do one yarn tail, which was a lot of fun. Didn't turn out the best, but it was fun to make. Do I role play? I used to define role play in this situation. I do tabletop gaming, tabletop role play like Dungeons and Dragons. I also used to do like text-based role play, but I haven't done that in years now. I've been given information about what the CT in your name probably stands for. It sounds like you and Golden Heart would have things to talk about. Cosplay. I have done some like minor cosplay in the past, but I haven't recently. I haven't in the last years. But I would be interested in getting into it again. I had thought about putting together an Angel Dust cosplay for the last anime convention that I went to. Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see that. If I had done the Angel Dust cosplay, it would have just been like a closet cosplay made of things that I already have. So I wouldn't have been spending any extra money on it. Oh, I did, however. I did, however, at one point. This is going to be very different than what you're uh, doing, but I did, however, make a full set of like medieval fantasy armor out of cardboard with the help of my father once, which was very fun, and I'm sure I have pictures of that somewhere. I'm sorry that you have to go to math. One of my favorite things about being in college and studying whatever I want to study is that I don't have to do math anymore. Well, I mean, math comes up in your daily life sometimes, so it's not like I'm completely exempt from it. But I don't like math either. What's wrong with right-wing newspapers? I don't agree with right-wing politics, and I didn't ask to have this shoved into my mailbox. And I think it's funny to make something that is an expression of my queerness with material provided by a group that very much would not agree with my queerness. Zen, totally chill. I'm happy to have you just listening. I'm glad that you're working on something. And bye, Captain Tens. Good luck in math. Um, ooh, bow. You've got a tail. Is it based on a particular animal? Like a wolf, dog, fox, cat? Lots of types of tails out there. Should you go live? Um, if you want to. Currently, my hands are covered in glue, so I wouldn't be able to open up a separate window to check out your live at this current moment. But if you want to go live, I think it can be quite fun. I think it can be nice to just chill with people while you work on whatever you want to work on. Also, I try to move the chicken without getting it sticky. I only have about 15 minutes left to hang out. Just so you all know in advance and aren't sad when I have to go. Oh, nice. I hope you enjoy being live, and it's cool to hear about your cattail. I don't want to be annoying, but reminder to everyone that you can like the stream, which helps me attract new viewers, and you can also subscribe if you're interested in hanging out with me again in the future next time I go live. Bye. Have a good live. In 15 minutes, I have a call to take. Also, in 15 minutes, my chicken alarm will go off. But the chicken alarm is set because of the call, not the other way around. Oh, that's fine. I don't expect you to get the details of everything that I say on stream. I need to stand up to get the top of the snoot, so I will be slightly out of frame. If you start rice or pasta, I'll have some of that. What editing software do you use, out of curiosity, Zen? Because I was actually trained to do video editing, so I'm always curious to hear what people are using to do theirs. That's too small of a piece. If you don't want to clean a pot, we could also do something out of the freezer. CapCut. I've heard, fall over. I've heard a lot about CapCut, but I have never personally used it. Is that one entirely mobile based? I know a lot of people use it for TikTok, so I guess I just sort of assumed that it was a phone based system, but I realize I don't actually know for sure if that is true or not. It's always funny to me how viewers come and go in waves, how it'll be very active and I'll have a ton of people in chat and then everyone just disappears at the same time.
There's still rice left over from yesterday if you want to.
There's only a little bit of rice, and it needs warmed up. Would it still be good?
Should be.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't make it more.
That would be nice. There we go. Got the edge of the nose shaped. I don't know why I'm still wearing these. What I was listening to has ended. What pro features? Okay, cool. I might have to try CapCut then, because I've heard good things, or decent things at least. And I'm always looking for new editing programs to try out. I was originally trained on Final Cut Pro, which I still love, but is not super accessible because I don't have an Apple device, and also it's expensive. So I usually use a Elements version of Adobe Premiere, so the less expensive version of Adobe Premiere, for my editing, which works, but isn't necessarily the best. Very carefully applying the first pieces to the lower jaw. I'm sure there would be theoretically a way to create a paper mache mask that has a movable jaw, but I am not going to figure out how to do that, at least not currently. Oh, nice. That's good to hear. CapCut probably watermarks your stuff unless you use a paid version, I assume. That's how a lot of those work right now. Not that I couldn't live with a watermark depending on what I'm using it for. Okay, interesting. Yes, a chill stream. I don't have a ton of time left on today because I have a call that I have to take at the top of the hour. But I'm happy to have you in for now nonetheless. And if you like chill streams, subscribe and you'll know next time I'm on. I'm thinking about doing this more often because this has been a very nice experience. I've met lots of cool people. Elastic. I've met lots of cool people on the stream. More so than I expected, which I've really enjoyed. And I have a whole list of, thank you. I have a whole list of YouTube accounts, YouTube channels to check out now from people who've stopped by in chat. And I've gotten relatively few trolls, which is nice. It seems like most of the time when I try to do anything on a public-facing platform, I get the worst of human beings. Maybe not the worst, but I get some pretty unfavorable individuals in my comments. I need to change my angle so that I can look at this from a different perspective. Oh. And I'm still out frame, but slightly less so. Oh, standing. Or at least sitting taller. That works. Well, hey, if it's not even one of your viewers, but a viewer's mom, that's someone so far out of like who you have to actually interact with that it might as well not even happen, you know? Not at this current second watching chat because I am trying to shape the bottom jaw, which is the part that I've been worrying about doing. So it's going to require my attention to hold it in place while it starts to dry a little bit. Oh, the pin of shame. No, don't know where. Ooh, I am sorry to hear about the dino mask. Oh, give me a second, guys. Okay, that is my. I need to. I thought I turned off that alarm. Anyway, that is my. I have 5 minutes left to wrap up stream timer. I need to take a call, so I'm going to be off stream for now. If you've enjoyed this and would like to hang out with me again in the future, I'm thinking that I'll go live again relatively soon, tomorrow or so, to continue working on this project. So I'm rambling. That said, if you liked this, subscribe so that you can know when I'm live again next time. I do still have a couple of minutes, so I'm here to finish up any conversations if you have any last minute things you need to talk about. If not, I do have some craft videos on my. Thank you, that's very sweet. I have some craft videos up on my channel, as well as just like general discussions, reviews, trans stuff, and a video essay if any of that is something that you might be interested in watching. And if not, I'll just see you around for the next live. All right. Ciao, ciao, everyone.